We thought automation was humanity's greatest achievement. Back then, we didn't know it would be our undoing. Callous, money-printing machines have taken over Gielinor. Pride and greed have taken it a step too far, so the war has begun.
My name is KemQ, Slayer of Dragons and Scammer of Scammers. PKing them, taking their money, oh my god, making them angry, reporting them, and heck, a friend of mine designed a plugin that prevents players from getting scammed and helped my anti-cheating alliance scam hundreds of millions of gold from the scammers. And for the last 10 years, I've been slowly progressing some of the highest hitting, lowest combat accounts that are perfect for taking out scammers and botters. I was creating these accounts for years, but little did I know they'd be perfect for this purpose. It's like I was meant to tackle the cheaters of RuneScape. I've been scammed by cruel scammers as a wee lad, and felt jaded by the overpopulation of bots, tanking moneymakers and flooding the high scores. They made moneymaking on playing RuneScape properly so much harder. Jagex have made me a player moderator, entrusting me to fight these mischievous troublemakers, and I'm throwing everything I got at it. So today's video is focused on bots specifically, because Jagex alone can't stop them. I'm on a mission to find every way of disrupting their operations, or just have fun trying. Messing with cheaters like I do is fun, but comes with risks. I'm directly interfering with their income, making me a target for cyber attacks. Luckily, today's video sponsor, NordVPN, has me covered. A VPN hides your location, making it seem like you're elsewhere. So people could think I'm safe tucked away in Lumbridge Bank when I'm actually destroying a Black Chinchompa bot farm in the wilderness. If you haven't migrated to a Jagex account, hackers can steal your RuneScape account with a single click. That's why NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro is a game changer. It scans and filters links, files, and pop-ups, keeping you and your account safe. NordVPN offers 24/7 support, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and protects up to 10 devices per subscription. That's a lot more than other services, and it's a fraction of the cost. Make sure you've updated your security before it's too late. An ounce of prevention is a pound of cure, so go to nordvpn.com/KemQ or click the link in the description for an exclusive deal plus 4 extra months free. Clicking the link and checking out the offer really goes a long way in supporting these videos as well. And many thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Bots in RuneScape are ruthless, not just ruining moneymakers, but actively killing players. There have been many big bot farms at Last Man Standing because of the lucrative rewards. So on top of muting the spam bots in the Last Man Standing lobby, I had already begun a journey of beating the bots at their own game. They are literally a computer that reacts instantly to my every move. But as my programming professor once said, computers are stupid. All I had to do was attack the bot, run one mini-map away, come back, and it stopped switching its protection prayers because it doesn't know who its enemy is anymore. And sometimes these bots just run out into the fog together, even though they're part of the same bot farm, which really helps me out by the time one of them comes back because he's a lot lower on food. I killed so many bots that I got accused of being one, and I won 1,000 games of Last Man Standing, earning myself the Victor's Cape 1000, and then across my other accounts 2,000 games, and then 3,000 games. And my first priority wasn't actually to kill the bots, it was just to get good at PKing and claim some nice rewards for my Ironman account. But according to my estimate, I've killed around 10,000 bots in Last Man Standing, and with my PMod powers muted hundreds of these very annoying spam bots in the Last Man Standing lobby. I received a tip about a bot farm operating in Taio Wanai, a small village on Karumja. They're exploiting the cleanup minigame in the village. Normally, players focus on clearing and cutting the dense jungle near the hardwood grove in the eastern part of the city. So that's where I checked first. But everything was normal. There were only regular players working to gain 100% favor or Ironmen searching for gout tubers. These gout tubers are needed to complete the Karumja medium diaries, and they're my top suspect for why botters might be botting here, because they're worth a lot of money. But I didn't find any suspicious activity. But not ready to give up yet, I went back through the emails and noticed a detail I had initially overlooked. These bots weren't cutting jungle in the usual spot. Instead, they were operating in the western part of the village, near a ladder. With this information, I decided to investigate further. When I arrived there, I began hopping worlds. Each time, I found Brutu victims and other monsters roaming near the dense jungle, but no players. This was odd. To dig deeper, I climbed up the nearby ladder, hopped worlds at the top, then climbed back down. That's when I found them. Accounts in full adamant armor were cutting the dense jungle in this secluded area. As soon as they noticed me, they would immediately run to the ladder, climb up, and log out. This strange evasive behavior was a clear sign they were trying to avoid detection. I found my bots. When I tried to look up these accounts on the high scores, nothing came up for many of them. Their stats were so low, they didn't even register. After a few more world hops, I found additional accounts exhibiting the same behavior. Some were wearing full adamant, while others were geared in full rune armor, but the pattern remained consistent. They would spot me, flee to the ladder, and disappear. These bots were clearly going for gout tubers, which currently sell for 560,000 GP on the Grand Exchange. On average, a gout tuber is expected once every hour and 15 minutes, meaning each bot can rake in around 500k GP per hour. While this may not seem like much, if a single bot owner operates 30 of these low requirement accounts, that translates to over 15 million GP per hour. And with such low level accounts, they could probably do this 24/7. But this week, they're making a little bit less money. I decided to see if I could disrupt their operations. My first idea is to use the Tell Other spell. I targeted one of the bots wearing full rune armor, but unfortunately, their accept aid feature was turned off, rendering the spell completely ineffective. But not ready to give up, I turned my attention to the bots in adamant armor. This time, it worked. The Tell Other spell successfully interrupted them, and not only did it stop them from cutting the jungle, but it also threw them off entirely. These bots would occasionally wake up and attempt to flee, but my persistent spellcasting would break their script, forcing them to pause for 5 to 10 minutes at a time. So while it's not foolproof, it's definitely a fun way to mess with the bots. Mission success. But even still, I compiled a list of these bots and reported them to Jagex for further investigation. I got this interesting tip-off about a bot farm I'd never heard of before. The email describes bots in full adamant in the Isle of Souls crumbling tower, and they're farming forgotten souls. This crumbling tower is an obscure and rarely visited place. Many players don't even know it exists on the map. Naturally, I was curious, so I decided to investigate. Upon arriving at the tower, everything seems normal. Either there were legitimate players killing forgotten souls, or no one was around. Striking up conversation with one of the players, we ask if there's anything they noticed that was suspicious. They mentioned there are some strange accounts upstairs, on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the tower. Thanking them, we climb the stairs and check it out. That's when we find them. Accounts matching the exact description from the email. Full adamant armor, some wielding Sarah swords, others wielding Sarachnis cudgels, and all completely unresponsive to my attempts at communication. One account even had a Guardians of the Rift pet following it, but it logs out the moment another player is detected. This piqued my curiosity further, and looking at the stats of some of the accounts, a lot of these accounts have pretty high runecrafting. For example, Os Aft Low has 79, which is impressively high for an account farming Forgotten Souls. But it gets even worse. One account, Lot J, stood out with over 18 million runecraft XP. It's pretty clear these accounts are being used for more than just farming Forgotten Souls. Perhaps the Forgotten Souls serve as a training ground for combat stats while keeping the bots under the radar. Mixing up the activities on the account might diminish the suspicion from Jagex. But why target Forgotten Souls in particular? On average, Forgotten Souls drop loot worth around 1.1k GP per kill, dropping various herbs, runes, and battle staves. And killing about 200 per hour, I guess they can make around 200,000 GP per hour. Compiling a list of 10 of these accounts and checking back a week later, 6 of them had been banned, but 4 remain active, showing higher runecraft and combat stats than before. So this proves that they're activity hopping between runecraft and combat training. With the remaining names on the list, I submitted a report to Jagex. I wanted to see if I could mess with these bots, so I geared up and went hunting for them on the PvP worlds. I hopped through every PvP world and they all seem to be empty. And 2 weeks later, now these 4 bots are banned as well.
Get news.
These are the Black Chinchompa bots of the wilderness. Unarmed, unarmored, and typically around combat level 40, and some being as high as level 70. They're pretty easy to spot because they've infested this place. They probably provide most of the Black Chinchompas on the market, which are currently priced at 3.7k each. The bots are probably making about 1 mil GP per hour, and I encountered these bots in nearly every world I hopped to. Most players can't attack them, and probably don't have high enough magic level in order to cast Teleblock because of how low level these bots are. But that's where Solus Adamus comes in. Not only can I Teleblock, but because of an update, I gained the ability to cast Fire Surge on this account, and with my Tome of Fire can hit up to 36 damage. So oftentimes they don't even make it to the teleport line.
Give me 36. Ooh, that's a good hit. 34, yes. Yes. It's working. 44k. These bots bank so quickly, man. Whoa, Lava Dragon bot. Come to Papa. Yes. We got him. Teleblocked. Give him some surges. Oh, that is a max. No, not quite, but pretty close. 36. That's a max. Yes. 34, 36. How much loot? All right, well, not much loot. We don't do it for the loot. We do it to send a message.
So normally, in order to cast any surge spell, I would need Wrath Runes, which, as an Iron Man, are locked behind Desert Treasure 2. And since my account is 1 defense and 10 HP, that isn't possible. But the PvP Arena shop has a reward of Surge Sacks, which allow me to cast surge spells in the Wilderness, Bounty Hunter, and PvP worlds, without the need for actual runes to cast the spells. But it's important to remember that in the Wilderness, there is always a bigger fish.
Oh, I'm dead. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yes. Yes, I escaped.
A few moments later.
Oh boy. I did not mean to do that. What? How could I not attack that guy? Oh.
Maybe it didn't all go to plan, but I was still able to mess with the bots for a while and take some loot from them. After getting PK'd, I did something that would significantly halt the bot farm's progress. I compiled a list of the bot names and reported them to Jagex. But Surge Sacks are a long way off from being the last upgrade on the account. I'm resuming this account's progress with my latest series called Making the Perfect Anti-Scammer. 2 videos are already up, so after this video, click the link in the description if you want to follow this account's progress. All these tip-offs are so helpful for making videos of busting the bots. So if you found some rule-breaking activity you want investigated and busted, send an email to RunescapeTipOff@gmail.com detailing what you found. I received a tip from a user about numerous bots farming gargoyles in the upstairs section of the Mauritania Slayer Tower. The report described accounts with low ranged and magic levels, 43 prayer, and specific gear setups. Curious, I decided to investigate. I donned my Slayer helmet, climbed the chain to the top of the tower, and what I found was shocking. There it was, an account matching the exact description from the tip-off. Full obsidian gear, a Varrock skirt, a zombie axe, and a dragonfire shield. Looking up the account's stats, I found it had 1300 total level, 44 prayer, low magic and ranged levels, and interestingly, exactly 75 crafting. I hopped to another world and found another account identical in appearance. Looking up its stats, I noticed the same pattern. 75 Slayer, 75 crafting, 44 prayer, and low ranged and magic levels. Although the total levels varied slightly, the key stats and gear were the same. Every second world or so had at least one of these accounts farming gargoyles, all unresponsive to any attempts at communication. But why are so many bots farming gargoyles? Well, you might be surprised to learn the Granite Mall price is now nearing 800,000 GP. These accounts can kill anywhere from 125 to 150 gargoyles per hour, making roughly 400,000 GP an hour just from the Granite Mall drop alone. but gargoyles also drop valuable stackable and alchable items, such as rune and adamant armor pieces, noted steel, gold, and mithril bars, chaos and death runes, and coins. Those supplies are historically why gargoyles have always been botted since Old School was released. But now that the Granite Mall is destroyed every time it's lost in PvP and converted to gold coins, its value has gone up drastically. Now these bots are making anywhere from 750k to 1 mil GP per hour per account. But if you're familiar with the gargoyle room, you'll know there's a nearby doorway leading to the nechreel room. This gave me an idea. I went to the nechreel room, dropped some noted gold ore near one of the bots, and waited. The moment the gold ore appeared, the bot instantly ran to it. That's when I closed the door behind it and watched as the bot helplessly tried to click on the gargoyle in the next room, unable to figure out what went wrong. This confirms my suspicion. Not only are these bots, but they aren't particularly smart ones. I've compiled a list of these bots and reported them to Jagex. Hopefully the list will help them figure out a pattern and help the anti-cheating team track down all of the bots. In the meantime though, I'll be dropping gold ore and slamming doors for just a bit longer. I received a tip from an anonymous user about bots operating in the Falador Mining Guild, mining amethyst ores and runite rocks. But logging in and heading to the amethyst rocks in the Falador mine, nothing. Between many worlds, searching diligently, there were no bots or suspicious accounts to be seen at the amethyst rocks. The area was populated only by high-level players and ironmen gathering useful ammo for their accounts. However, the tip also mentioned bots at the nearby runite rocks, and what I discovered there was shocking. With the runite rock in sight, just as the depleted rock was about to respawn, one account appeared, then another, and another. By the time the rock had respawned, 5 accounts were mining it simultaneously. So I hopped to another world. There I found even more accounts, all low level with minimal combat stats. These accounts have something in common. They all had around 90 mining, with some surpassing level 99, boasting millions of experience. For instance, there's this one bot with nearly 17 million mining experience, perhaps all mined from mining runite rocks. To put that into perspective, each runite rock mined gives 125 XP. If this bot started mining rune rocks at level 85, he would have mined approximately 109,848 rune ores. That's nearly 1.2 billion gold earned from this one account alone. What I noticed with these specific bots is that there were usually 3 to 5 accounts competing for the rocks on these worlds. This means these bots have achieved such high mining levels despite not consistently mining runite. At normal rates, a player consistently mining runite could expect to earn around 8k XP per hour. However, with how many bots there are, I can't imagine these bots are achieving even half that rate. If the bot with 17 million XP got an impressive 5,000 XP per hour, this would mean the bot has been operating undetected and unbanned for over 2,600 in-game hours. One interesting behavior I observed was that some bots mined adamant while waiting for the rune rock to respawn. But how can I be so sure these are bots? Well, just dropping some rune ore on the ground near one of the accounts, giving it the opportunity to pick up some free ore. Instead of taking the bait, the bot completely ignores it, running straight to the rune rock to compete with the other accounts. It chose to pass up free money on the ground, equivalent to a few minutes of work, just to stick to its programmed routine. Rude. Most of the accounts I encountered had mining levels ranging from 85 to over 20 million XP, with combat levels typically between 35 and 45, with total levels in the 400 to 500 range. Occasionally, I even found these accounts in full adamant armor mining iron, presumably leveling up in preparation to start mining rune rocks in this area. As you can tell, these bots are very disruptive to normal players. I don't know how a normal player could actually mine any of these rocks when they're competing with 5 other accounts. So basically, mining rune in the mining guild is off limits for a typical player. And speaking of those iron ore, players used to be able to go to PvP worlds, and if they were attacked with a 2-tick weapon such as a knife or a dart, and their auto retaliate was on while equipping a short bow, they could tick manipulate to get the highest mining XP per hour rate in the entire game. The reason I tell you this is because as much as I would love to kill these bots on my low-level Ironmen, I can't, because as soon as Jagex heard about that method where players were getting game-breaking mining XP, they made it so the mining guild is no longer a PvP zone. So although I can't disrupt these bots in the ways I'd like, I have reported them to the old school team. Now, you guys know by now that I'm very anti-gambling, but there are still these bots promoting gambling halls near the Grand Exchange. So after seeing an advertisement for one, I simply accepted the invitation to their drop party. Thank you for telling the name of your hall. Now I'll go check it out. Enter guest hall. Hey guys. Oh my gosh, there are actually suckers. Look, he's running away. Oh my gosh, they're all running. No way. Oh my gosh. What is this guy doing gambling? He's gonna lose his account. What's going on? Maybe I should report these guys before I talk. Oh. You were removed from the clan hall. Oh my gosh. Huh, why would you kick a PMod out of your party? Come on guys, the more the merrier. There are lots more bots to bust, so if you want to see future episodes, then make sure to subscribe.
We thought automation was humanity's greatest achievement, but we went too far, and the war wages on. But we haven't given up hope. At least, not today.